A lot of people think they're exhausted because they're doing too much, but that's not actually the problem. Most people are exhausted because they are carrying things that were never theirs to hold. Other people's emotion, other people's expectations, other people's comfort, other people's reactions. And they've been doing it so long, they don't even realize how heavy it's gotten. So in this video, we're talking about what you need to put down so you can finally feel lighter without disappearing, quitting, or burning everything down. I'm Patty the Connector, the problem solver queen. And what I care about is helping people move smarter, not harder. So last episode, we talked about overstimulation, about how when life gets too loud, you cope instead of regulate. Today, we're talking about why so many capable, intelligent, driven people are exhausted even when they slow down. Because slowing down doesn't help if you're still carrying everyone else. So here's what no one tells you. Exhaustion isn't always about effort. Sometimes it's about emotional weight. A lot of people don't just manage their own lives, they manage the room. They anticipate reactions. They smooth things over. They make sure everyone else is okay, even at their own expense. And over time, they become the emotional infrastructure for everyone around them. The reliable one. You're dependable. You're always the strong one. But strength without relief turns into depletion. I didn't always realize I was doing this. And for a long time, I thought I was just being responsible, that I was helpful and mature. I was the one people leaned on, the one who handled things, the one who didn't make it a big deal. But at some point, I noticed something. I was tired in a way rest didn't fix. Not because I was doing too much, but because I was holding too much, holding space, holding peace, holding things together. And I had to ask myself a hard question. What am I carrying because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? That question changed everything. So here's why letting go feels scary. You're not afraid of being less helpful. You're afraid of being misunderstood. Or you're afraid that if you stop carrying things, you'll disappoint people. You'll look selfish. Things will fall apart. But here's the truth. If something only works when you overextend yourself, it's not working. A lot of people are carrying the same 4 things, even if it looks different on the outside. So here's the first thing, emotional management. You regulate everyone else so things don't get uncomfortable. So you absorb moods, you soften truths, you keep the peace. The second thing is reliability overload. You're the default. You're the fixer, the one who handles it. If something falls apart, it somehow lands on you. And the third one is unspoken expectations. Like no one explicitly asked, but you felt it, so you carried it. And then the last one is guilt, especially when you rest, say no, or choose yourself. These aren't personality traits, they're survival patterns. Just because you can carry it doesn't mean it's yours to hold. A lot of people are exhausted because they're doing too much for people who wouldn't even do the same. So before we talk about how to put things down, we need to talk about how we learn to carry them in the first place. Because nobody wakes up one day and decides, I want to be exhausted for the rest of my life. That was trained. And a lot of people learned early that being helpful made them lovable. Being easy made them safe. And being low maintenance kept the peace. So you adapted. You read the room. You anticipated needs. You learned how to carry things quietly. And at first it worked. You were praised for being mature, reliable, strong. But nobody tells you when it's time to stop. So what once kept you safe may now be what's keeping you tired. So here's a distinction that will change everything. Effort is what you choose. Responsibility is what you own. And a lot of people confuse the two. Just because you can help doesn't mean you're responsible. And just because you notice doesn't mean you're assigned. Awareness does not equal obligation. So I want to give you some practical steps. The first step I want you to take is name what you're actually carrying. Not the person, not the situation, the role. Ask yourself, am I carrying emotional regulation? Am I carrying responsibility for outcomes? Am I carrying guilt that doesn't belong to me? Name it clearly, because clarity reduces weight. The second thing I want you to do, interrupt the auto response. Most overcarrying happens automatically, so try this pause. When you feel the urge to fix, explain, rescue, or smooth things over, wait 10 seconds. That pause is where your power lives. You're not saying no yet. You're just not saying yes immediately. You don't have to decide right away to decide differently. The third step is release without announcing. You don't need to explain every boundary. Some releases are silent. That just look like not responding immediately, letting someone sit with their feelings, allowing people to handle what's theirs. You don't owe a presentation for every change. Not everything you release needs an explanation. And then the fourth step is expect discomfort and not disaster. So when you stop carrying what isn't yours, okay, people may notice, dynamics may shift, some discomfort may surface, but that doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means the system adjusted. Growth often feels like tension before it feels like peace. Discomfort is not the same as damage. If this is hidden close to home, that's not a problem. That's awareness returning. You're not behind. You're becoming conscious. Sit with these. Don't rush. Here are the questions. What am I carrying that no one explicitly asks me to hold? What do I manage because I don't trust others to handle discomfort? Where am I saying yes out of guilt instead of alignment? What would actually happen if I put this down? Not what you fear might happen. What would actually happen? This isn't about cutting people off or burning bridges. It's about release. And so the practical steps for this that I want to give you is the first step: identify one weight, one expectation, one responsibility, one emotional role. The second step I want you to take is practice, not fixing. Let it be uncomfortable. Discomfort is not danger. The third step I want you to take is replace guilt with truth. When guilt shows up, say this: I'm allowed to choose what I carry. Say it out loud if you need to. You don't need permission to put something down. You need permission to stop picking it back up. You don't need to become colder. You don't need to care less. You just need to carry less. Because when you stop over carrying, you don't lose yourself. You get yourself back. So in the next episode, we're talking about how to reset daily. Like not by discipline, but by building a rhythm that doesn't pull all this weight right back on your shoulders. And before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sitting with this. And thank you to everyone who shares these conversations with someone who needs them. If this conversation helped you feel seen or lighter, stay with me. This channel is built intentionally. Each episode stacks on the last. And if this felt like something you needed today, this isn't a one-off. If you keep showing up for this work, I'll keep showing up to do it with you. I'll see you on the next one.